This story is about when Mr. Captain Crabby was in Congo. And he landed on shore, and Mr. Crabby, he was staying on the boat. And there was an adventure in front of Captain Crabby that he was invited to go into the jungle. Yes, see behind me this jungle and the birds, hoo hoo hoo, and the monkeys. Well, the monkeys, they were excited to see a white man walk through the room. Well, I don't know if monkeys know the difference between a white man, a black man, a green man, a purple man, or anything. They just know that you're not a monkey. Are you a monkey? No, you're not a monkey. You're a little boy. Captain Crabby went out at night. It was a dark night, and you couldn't see the moon. And so he prayed. He said, "Dear God, could you make a light shine for me?" And out of nowhere, children, came this light. And it was a big globe. And this big globe would go into the jungle. And Captain Crabby followed the globe. As Captain Crabby followed the globe, the big globe would shine right each step he took, further and further into the jungle, until it was so very dark. He decided, "Globe, would you stay there?" And the globe stayed. And the globe shined light right in an open area. And Captain had a lighter. He made a fire. And as he laid down next to the fire, he remembered that the animals are afraid of fire. And he laid so close to the fire that the fire had big pieces of wood on it. And as the big pieces of wood went up in the air, sparks were flying. And there was this light from this globe right over Mr. Captain Crabby. And as Captain Crabby fell asleep for a few minutes, an hour, a little bit longer, and when the fire went down, the light would shine bright. And the animals would not come clear. They would not they wouldn't try to get near Mr. Captain Crabby, because the light was so bright, they didn't want to get near him. They would look up, they would look here and look there, and they would look and see what that light was. And that light was so bright that Mr. Crabby woke up and he went back into the jungle. And the light stayed right where Captain Crabby was. And he looked at the light and he felt like it loved him. He felt like that must be an angel. An angel was watching over Captain Crabby. And as the angel went further, it just was a big, beautiful ball. A ball of light, a ball of love, a ball that protected him. And he heard this noise in front of him. It was a rustling. It sounded like a tiger. A tiger. But this globe would go right onto the path. And as he went onto the path, that animal, it left. And he walked. He walked further and further. He got further and further into the jungle. And when this light shined on him, he came to a village. And the village, they looked at him coming out of the woods. And they saw this globe over him. And the whole village came out to him. And they looked at him and they looked at this globe that was shining over him. And this globe was so bright, and it would just shine down over Captain Crabby. And it was dark out. And the light wasn't a light bulb from the earth. It wasn't a switch kind. It was a light from heaven. It was an angel that was sent to protect Captain Crabby. And as Captain Crabby stood there in that that light shined upon him. Whew, he felt so strong. He felt so courageous. And he talked to the children and says, where is your chief? And the chief came out and looked at him. He looked up at the light. And he looked at Captain Crabby. And he wondered, who is this man? Who is this man that came out of the jungle? And a bright light was shining over him. And that bright light was so bright that they all came up closer and closer and closer to where Captain Crabby stood. And he said, I came because you had cried out. You found a book. And you didn't know what the book was about. But you said, if there's a God that is in this book, it was a Bible. They didn't know how to read, but they picked this Bible up. And when they picked the Bible up, there was this feeling they had. And they cried out and they said, we don't know who this God is of this Bible, but would you send somebody to us? Would you send somebody that would tell us what's in this Bible? So Captain Crabby stood there and he took the Bible. And because he took the Bible, and that Bible was in his hands, and he took it and he opened it up. And he read to them about the great merciful God, the Father of the Lord Jesus Christ. And the people looked at each other and they said, that's in that book. That's in that book. And Captain Crabby, with his light shining down on him, they had cried out to God. They had cried out to God. And as they cried out to him, he answered them. Captain Crabby was an answer to their prayers. And when he opened the Bible up, right as he opened the Bible up, the light from that globe shined down at it, and Captain Crabby could read it. He could read it. And he says, this is a chapter on love. Oh, what? Love never fails. Love never becomes bad or evil. Love helps you forgive each other. Love is not evil. Love does not do things to others that you would not want to have done to yourself. And as he was reading that, as he was reading this Bible, and the light from this globe was shining down on this Bible, and he thought, whoa. And the people looked at that Bible, and they looked at Captain Crabby, and they looked at this light shining down. And as Captain Crabby was talking to them, they started to cry. Boo, boo, boo. And one after another, they went to each other and they gave each other hugs because they had thrown rocks at each other. They had stolen from each other. They had spoken bad words about each other. And as that light from that globe above him and the light that was shining on that Bible, and Captain Crabby was reading about love, 1 Corinthians 13. And when they read that, when he was reading that, the love came over all of the children and all of the adults. And they started to weep and they started to cry. And says, what do we have to do? This, what does it happen? What do we do with our hearts? They feel so like we need to tell what we've done wrong and tell others what we did wrong, and don't go to other people and ask them to forgive us for when we did wrong to them. And Mr. Crabby, he didn't know what Captain Crabby was doing, but he was on the boat. And he felt this love. And he had a globe down in the bottom of the ship. And it shined right over his house. And the other crabs came to him. And they looked at Mr. Crabby and they said, what is that globe? What is it? And Mr. Crabby did the same thing. He opened his Bible up. And when he opened his Bible up, they all looked at it. And they looked at his Bible. And they looked at Mr. Crabby. They looked at the Bible. They looked at Mr. Crabby. They looked at him. And they saw the globe shining down on Mr. Crabby. When Mr. Crabby looked up and he got, wow, I've never seen a globe like that before. And he started to read. He started to read the love chapter. And the other crabs looked at each other. The ones that had been mean to each other, pinched each other, and thrown seashells at each other, and stole each other's knives, and beat each other up. And Mr. Crabby, he looked at all the other crabs, and they were all wondering what was going on, why this globe of light was shining down on Mr. Crabby, and why Mr. Crabby, when he's opened the Bible up, they felt like love was doing something in their hearts. They didn't know what to do with it. And that love was so strong. It was like the light shining down, and it was brighter and brighter and brighter. And every crab in that light, the darkness left the crabs' hearts. The hearts were filled with love. And they would look at each other, and they would smile at each other, and they gave each other big crab hugs. Have you ever had a crab hug? Oh, Mr. Crabby, he loves to give Captain Crabby a hug. Oh, thank you. Well, in the story, Captain Crabby was in the village and Mr. Crabby was in the boat. And they both had these experiences where this beautiful light shined down. And this light shined so bright. It shined so bright to all of the people in the village. It shone so bright over Mr. Crabby that all of the crabs came. And all of the villagers came. And they listened about the love. And they never felt love. They didn't know what love was. But when they could feel love come into their hearts, they cried out. This is the God of that Bible, the God of that man. We want that man. We want whatever that man has. And so they all cried out. As they cried out, they all accepted. They all accepted the God of the Lord Jesus Christ. That this Jesus, he died on the cross. That Jesus, he was the one who was resurrected from the dead. And they, oh, somebody was risen from the dead? Yes, this Jesus died, and 3 days later, he came out of the grave. And all the villagers go, what? We want him in our lives. We want him in those grave stones of our hearts, and we want the light to shine and the brightness of that light that's over Mr. Crabby and what he's doing. I want that light. I want that love. So they accepted this Jesus into their hearts. They said, Jesus, come into our hearts. I want the blood. What? The blood. The blood. The blood. And it did. And as the blood came over their hearts, they were able to forgive. And they loved each other in a very beautiful way.